Hello again, it's Vlek, here with a different video for UOSteam tutorials. I'm going to be talking about the ways in which you can pause during a script. Now there's three main ways that I would suggest. There's the predefined set pauses that you're generally used to, just pause and then your millisecond pause. There are the timer delays that are preset or that come with UOSteam, and then there are the while not in journal pauses that I'm going to be talking about. So the first predefined scripts, or sorry, the predefined ways that you can use are just this simple pause method. So pause and then your millisecond timeouts. This is very common in scripts. It's very easy to use. I mean, especially for training skills, like you're seeing here. My favorite loop, while not dead, and I've just added the skill part at the end because we don't want to be doing this the entire time, just of course until your GM skill. So while you're not dead and you're not GM skill, use skill hiding. You're going to pause, and then with these kind of pauses, you're going to want to do the time plus about 500 milliseconds to give it a breather room. So we know that the timeout for hiding is about 10 seconds, and then afterwards we're going to need that breathing room to make sure that it doesn't trip over itself. So there are many different things that can cause problems as far as timing goes with pauses. So I mean, you can have lag on your end, lag on the server's end, some sort of miscommunication. Things can take longer. So you just want to make sure that you're not wasting your time, because let's say that you or it does mess up, it does trip over itself, and you waste 10 seconds. You do that enough times, that's going to make your gain slower. It's going to make you take a lot longer than it should. And so just letting it or taking that 500 millisecond pause, that half a second, is really going to be better in the long run than trying to hit it at 10 seconds every single time. So this is of course just going to run as long as it needs to and then exit out. You could even do something like afterwards log out button if you just wanted to close down your game right after you're done. Going on to what I wanted to show you though, so I put all these spinning wheels next to me because I want to show you different methods that you could use in order to spin cotton. This method, it's very straightforward. So we're going to be looking for the two different types of spinning wheels, either the east facing graphic or the south facing one. We're looking for any color as long as it's on the ground and there's at least one of them and they're within two tiles of you. So they're within a usable distance. We're going to set the alias spinning wheels to whatever we found, that serial. And the reason why this is here is because we could already have a set spinning wheel to a different serial that's on a different server that's, I don't know, 400 squares away from us, something that we can't use. So this is just making sure that if we have spinning wheels in the past or on different servers, that we unset that alias so that we're not trying to use it again. Of course, this is going to not allow us to use it if there's not one near, but it's a good way to set yourself up for success in the future, just to make sure that you unset anything that you are going to have to get again. So this while loop, we're going to use this in other scripts too to illustrate the other types of pauses. But what this is doing is it's saying while there's cotton in the backpack, that's what this graphic is. So while there's cotton of any color within your backpack, we're going to use that serial. We don't care to put it to an alias because we're just immediately going to use it. We're going to wait for the target, wait for the ability to click on something, and we're going to target the spinning wheel alias that we've set. And then here's our set pause. So it's going to take a little bit less than 4 seconds. We're going to leave us some breathing room. So we're just going to say 4 seconds flat. And so if it runs, I mean, it's using only one spinning wheel, and you can see it stops for a split second, and then it goes again, but it's going to run slowly. You can see my counter, which I've set, it goes, but it's not as efficient as it could be. So what I did was I created the same kind of script, but I made it to where it's juggling several different ones and using the timer method. So in this case, instead of setting a single alias, what we're doing is we're going to use a list. So in this case, we're going to remove the list just to make sure that we don't have entries from a previous use on another server or many tiles away. And this is where it gets tricky. This is where it really counts, because if you don't get rid of the list, then there's going to be other entries in the list. And so appending to the list is only going to make it to where you have like 20 spinning wheels, but you can only use about 5 of them. So it gets to a really headache case. So we're just going to remove that spinning wheels list. We're going to create it anew. And then while it's the case we find the spinning wheels, instead of just finding one, we're going to say while. So for every single spinning wheel that's within usable distance, within two tiles, we're going to push it into our list. So push list has two different options. You can either push it to the front or you can push it to the back. If it's it automatically defaults to the back, so don't worry about it unless you're appending to the front. And the reason why that's important in this case is because we're going to be doing for something with it for each time that we add it to the list. And in this case, we're creating a timer for that one. So we append it to the list, and then the 0th entry, or that first entry into their spinning wheels list that we've just put in, is going to be that newest spinning wheel. We want to create a timer for it, which is this is going to give back the serial. So we create a timer with the name of the serial, and then that serial we also need to set the timer as well. And so we're going to set it to that 4-second timeout because we don't need to wait in order to use it. We're just going to assume that it's not in use, that we're going to spinning wheels that I can use every single one of them. We don't have to wait for a timeout. And of course, we're going to ignore that object after we've pushed it to the list because we're using the while loop. If we don't get rid of it, then it's just going to keep adding that same spinning wheel every single time without going on to the next spinning wheel. It's just going to keep doing it. So that can cause our script to fail without doing anything else. So we need to make sure to forget that one so we can go on to the next spinning wheels that we can use. And of course, if we're going to be running the script again, we also need to make sure to clear the ignore list so that we don't accidentally not use the spinning wheels that we've used previously in our new script. Um, so again, we're going to use that same while loop as we saw earlier, while there's still cotton in the backpack. But for this one, it's not going to be for that one spinning wheel. We have to use every single spinning wheel that's within that list. And so for 0 in spinning wheels, which basically means for each item in spinning wheels starting from the 0th entry or the first index, we're going to, if the timer is greater than 4 seconds, which means that if it's past its cooldown period for that specific spinning wheel, then we're going to do something with it. So we're going to use that cotton that we found here, and we're going to wait for target. So we're going to wait till we can use it. We're going to target our spinning wheel, that specific spinning wheel that we're using for this iteration. We're going to pause a minuscule amount of time just to make sure that the script doesn't just trip over itself. And then we need this little part here in order to make sure that if it's the case that we no longer have cotton in our backpack, remember we're only checking for cotton here outside of our for loop. So it could be the fact that we only have 2 cotton in our backpack, but right now we have 6 spinning wheels. So if it starts all over again, it's going to go and put cotton on the first 2 spinning wheels, but the third one it's going to just stop. It's going to say, sorry, we don't have cotton. So it's just going to error out and cause issues. So we need to make sure to stop the script if it's that case. Otherwise, we're going to pause for, again, another minuscule amount of time before going through and using the next spinning wheel. So in this case, if we just run it, you can see it using all of the spinning wheels, and it's letting them go for that same minuscule amount of time before going on to the next one. But you can see because we're utilizing all 6 of the spinning wheels, it's going much quicker than the other one. So this is going to be a much better method of dealing with having multiple things going at the same time. It's not the case that you have to have each item be the exact same. So instead of dealing with 6 different spinning wheels, we could be dealing with many different objects that all have their different or set timers, and they have different timeouts as well as things that you would want to do in those. Remember, because we're using our own, or each timer has their own if statement, you could set it to do different things depending on which timer you're dealing with. So this is a very powerful method for juggling many different things at once. The other method, the last one, is the while not in journal loop. So in this case, we're saying that while it's not the case that the message that we got back, the you put spools of thread in your backpack, wasn't returned by system, we're going to pause. So we're just going to wait until we've received that message. And then once we receive the message, then we're going to continue the while loop so long it's the case that we have cotton in the backpack. So this is going to be the same as in our first one. We're going to clear ignore list just to make sure that we're not having any issues. I think I put that in because I had just created this one and I wanted to create this as just the other method. So I was running into, wait, hold on a second, there's things in my ignore list. So really, if you're going to use any kind of find, you really want to use the clear ignore list beforehand. And this make sure that you don't hear about it as well, which is very important because you don't want to have your system messages just blitzed with all these different messages of, oh, I cleared this, I did this, I couldn't find that. Just not worth it. But anyway, so again, same while loop. While it's the case that we can find cotton in the backpack, we're going to clear the journal. This is very important because after the first iteration or the first time that you put cotton on the spinning wheel, you're going to receive this message back. And so it's going to keep just going. It's not going to go through this while loop at all. It's just going to clear right through it and just try to keep using the cotton without stopping. So we have to make sure that we are not going to pay attention to any messages that we received prior to running the script, and then we're going to use the item that we found, that cotton. We're going to wait, we're going to target it, and then of course we're going to do whatever wait necessary until we've received that system message and then going again. So watch this and watch how fast it goes. So it doesn't even stop. It's absolutely amazing how fast that this kind of script can run. So this is lightning fast for situations where you get a journal message back and you need to deal with one specific thing. Now, if I tried to do this for each one, for all 6 of these, it would be a headache because they all receive the same system message. It doesn't say, oh, spinning wheel at blank point and blank point has finished. It says, oh, you finished spinning cotton or the thread. So there are ways around it, of course. You could have different timers, and then you can look for the timer that has the most amount of time to kind of guess which one, but there is no way to link them programmatically and with assurance that that's the correct one. So this I would strongly suggest in cases where you have a random timeout, so you don't know how long it's going to take, but you're okay waiting as long as however long that is, and it's one specific thing with a very specific message, even if it's a message from a different character. So you wouldn't suggest or do system, you would do whatever thing is going to be sending you back the message, but it's very doable. Again, remember, this is the most constrained of all 3 because you have to get a system message back somehow. System or player or NPC, whatever. You have to have a message in your journal that states a thing that you can grab and hopefully isn't the same as what somebody might say in conversation, because you don't want to have some idiot sitting next to you and they say the exact same thing that's going to pop your script and make you do something, because that's just going to cause a lot of headache. But those are the 3 methods. Of the 3, they each have their own kind of drawbacks, but they're very good for different things. So the most basic, of course, I mean, it's great for cases where you don't need anything fancy. You're just doing one thing, and you know the set timeout. You need something quick. You don't want to deal with it. Just boom, like this, like the hiding script. I mean, this is beautiful. This is as much as you possibly need. After that's done, of course, you can even add your stealth script at the end of this, and then just keep going. So I mean, it's not that this can't be beautiful and that this can't do a lot of different things. It's just that the situation doesn't call for anything more fancy. The other case is, of course, where you're doing different timers. That's going to be a little more in depth, but I mean, as you can see, it can be very, very helpful in cases where you're juggling lots of different things. The most constrained, but the most powerful as far as for efficiency with time, nothing better. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to see me do a video on a UOSteam topic, please leave me a comment or send me a message. Subscribe. I'm going to be doing as many of these as I can on the different topics that I can think of, and continue playing UO. Thank you so much. Bye.